What I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to try to work with you as beginning painters, people who have expressed an interest in learning how to paint and have always said to yourself, I can't do it. I really don't know how to do it. I'm afraid of it. I don't know where to start. And so what I thought I would do is show you my method of going through selecting something to paint, having the tools to do it with, and then actually doing a painting like a landscape, something that's not architectural, not linear, not a lot of detail, but at the same time something that's got some color, texture, feeling, composition, all of those things. Let me start with the equipment. This easel is called a French easel. It's portable, it folds up, I can throw it over my shoulder, all the legs fold up. This is a 140 pound, it's called Arches watercolor paper, and it's a half sheet. So maybe $2, something like that. And if I destroy it, turn it over. It's thick enough and heavy enough that you can paint on both sides with no problem. See, I've got these clips, and I use these so that I can pull this over as it gets wet, because it's going to stretch. One of the things that I'll do for a large watercolor is I'll pre-stretch my paper. Okay, my palette. My palette is what I like as colors. And you'll see here, you've got a burnt sienna, you have a raw sienna, you've got an ultramarine blue, you've got a good yellow, a good cadmium orange, and a pretty good red. And so you've got the basic primary colors, and from those I'll then mix. Okay, let's give it a shot. This one is going to be fairly simple because it's just a matter of planes coming across. So I'll start here. Here I want to show movement through the drawing, and I know that's a little bit too high, so I'm going to lower that down a little bit. I've used this as a starting point, and I use this for composition, and I like it. And so I'll be fairly realistic with copying what is here. And right now I don't care about too much except their volume. Okay, here's one of the important things is this piece right back here. This is a little bit of the field, and as you can see, it's got some different color to it, and it's a different hue. Now, all we need to do is splash water across this whole thing, and it will break that sizing. Some people prefer to sit down and paint. Some like to stand. Some like to have their board either almost flat. It's pretty difficult to do a watercolor painting when your board is completely flat, because your water will puddle and the colors will puddle and they won't blend together. And that's what you want. What I'm going to do now is in the studio, I've got the advantage of having a hair dryer. And so I'm going to turn that on now and dry this thing. So this shouldn't take very long, a couple of minutes. It's not dry, it's not entirely dry. It doesn't need to be entirely dry. It can be a little bit damp. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wet the sky and blend a color in. In watercolors, you start with the lightest colors first. It's just the opposite of oil. Oil and a heavy pigmented paint like an acrylic, most often you start with your darkest colors and then you put lights on top of it till you finish it with white. One of the things I think is an easy way to paint is to take this out and turn your board upside down. So here's going to be the sky. You start once again with just putting water back on it. I'm going to use a little bit of cerulean blue, touch of ultramarine, touch of violet. I love lavenders. And so I don't know exactly what I would call it right now, maybe farmland in Virginia to start with. I'm going to come back over because I've still got some water here, and I'm adding a little bit more blue and violet to it. If I wanted to make it more subtle, I could add a little bit of brown or a little bit of yellow to it, and it would gray it out a little bit. but I like the pure colors. Okay, even if I leave something like this, it'll run. As you can see, it's already running and blending together. What I don't want to do is I don't want to keep messing with it. So I'm going to stop, turn it around, let's see what happens. Now it should run down and blend together. And I could take paper towel and I could pick up some of that. So you actually can make this a little whiter, make it go up and blend up a little bit into it, blend up a little bit there. Okay, let's go for yellow. I like yellow. So I'm going to run some yellow in the background, and so I'm going to hit this quickly. I want that row, but I don't necessarily want it coming right at me. So I think I'm just going to bring it over in here and bring it over in here. Once again, I don't worry about this because I can come back over it. I also see that it's got some red in it and darker, and it's going to have more dark here. Now I think I'm going to start with the blues in the back. And you're on the palette right now, and let me tell you that this blue right here is my Florida blue, and the color that I'm hunting for is going to be back in here. And once again, I don't think I want that hard edge, but I'm not going to take it out yet. I'm going to take it out once I finish this. So let's put some light into it, and then I'll add a little bit of blue, and that'll give me a good green. My piney type is a tree that comes up here like this and does this. There's one of the brushes that has a cut end on it. Here it is. This one has a cut end on it, as you see here. And the reason for that is because you can take it and make marks. And so I can pull up branches. Okay, I'm going to put water back over the sky, and then I'm going to add some more lavender to it and blues. In fact, I've got my coffee cup sitting here. Oftentimes I will take this brush, and instead of putting it in here, I will put it in there, and we end up with a coffee painting. My thinking is, that's a nice color. Coffee's a good color. It's not the purples and lavenders and greens that I usually use, but it's still a nice color. If you'd like to see more of my paintings, you can go to my webpage. It's www.robertgilbertsart.com. That's robertgilbertsart.com, and you can see about 100 paintings of different kinds: watercolor, acrylic, and oil. And if you've got any questions, you can email me, and I'm more than happy to help.